Step 7, describing segments. We're now in the regression framework, how we can predict segment membership in segment 3 using descriptor variables. So we can either select already the suitable set a priori and fit the model. Alternatively, we might want to do variable selection. And we want to first consider all variables which we have in our data set included in the model, and then reduce the model in a stepwise procedure by omitting those which don't provide a significantly better fit. This is implemented in R using the function step. So first we fit a model, and first we fit a full model here. So we are using generalized linear model. That's our dependent variable till the dot, and the dot means use all variables contained in the data frame here which are not on the left hand side. So all available ones are used, and because that data frame contains missing values, we're omitting rows with at least one missing value using the function NA-omit to ensure that within that stepwise procedure we're always using the exactly same set of observations for fitting the models, which then allow us to compare these models using a goodness of fit criterion, and by default the AIC is used. So what's done is here we fit the full model, and then we have a stepwise procedure where we add or remove variables. So we have a fitted model. We're considering either dropping any of those which are contained or adding any of those which aren't contained, and look at how does this change the goodness of fit as measured by AIC. And if the AIC improves, we do this one step, and then we do the iterative process again, and this will lead then now to a final model which can't be improved anymore by either omitting one variable or adding one variable. And the trace equals 0 means here that we don't want to have information on how does the iterative procedure proceeds printed out while it's running. So that's like a verbose argument for other functions. We get a warning here. This is due to the fact that if our explanatory variables are very, very informative and we are able to perfectly predict the zeros and ones. Perfect prediction sounds great, but is problematic from a statistical point of view. So if we have one variable which allows us to perfectly predict zeros or ones, this leads to numerical problems in estimation, and it also leads to problems within the statistical inference framework. And these are the warnings here that while we were running that stepwise procedure, some of the models we were considering had this problem, but that doesn't mean it applies to the final model we are considering, where we have omitted variables. So let's look at the final model which was obtained using that stepwise procedure. So we automatically selected only 3 variables. Neither age nor obligation are selected. We have education. So the higher the education value, the more likely to be in segment 3. The higher the NEP score, the less likely to be in segment 3. And the vacation behavior is also the higher the vacation behavior score, the less likely respondents are to be in segment 3. And if we do a significance test saying if we put education is the coefficient equal to 0 versus unequal to 0, this would not be rejected at a 5% value. But keep in mind that these tests here might be misleading because they don't take into account that we have used already the same data set for selecting the model, and we normally would get inflated p-values in that case. So they need to be taken with caution, and optimally we would have 2 different data sets, one for model selection, selecting the variables, and the other one for running these tests then. If we want to look at the predictive performance of the two models we were fitted, what we could look at the predicted probabilities. So the function predict applied to the fitted model gives us the predicted values for each of the observations we used for fitting. And these predicted values can be either on the linear predictor scale or on the response scale. And here we want to have the type response, which means the linear predictor is evaluated and then it's transformed using the inverse logit function to get the expected probability of being in segment 3. And what we want to do now is we want to plot two plots next to each other. So we're changing the settings of our graphic window. We calculate the predicted probability for the first model, including age and moral obligation. And we're plotting now what does this predicted value, how do they differ between respondents who are in segment 3 and respondents who are not in segment 3. We're saying that y-axis goes from 0 to 1, so these are the limits of the y-axis. We don't want to have a title, and this is our label for the y-axis. We're creating this parallel box plot between the group of respondents in segment 3 and those not in segment 3. So what would be the optimal outcome if we had very, very good descriptor variables which would us allow to perfectly predict more or less who's in segment 3, yes or no? We would expect that one box is up here and the other one is down here. Here what we see is only a slight shift in the two boxes with these being slightly higher, the predicted probabilities for those respondents who are really in segment 3 than those who are not in segment 3. And we can do this again for the model which we obtained using the stepwise procedure. We are able to identify that this model has a better predictive performance because the difference, the shift in the distributions is largest.